and the bass is like. You will rule the bass is like. I've got a headache and hard again. I don't want to know what you have to say. So sick of the corona task force and you get it. You just need to go away. Ordered all those supplies needed and the rich and twisted homes alive. Do you really think that toilet thing is gonna keep you all from dying? You will rule them and dash in the face is like. You will rule them and dash in the face. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of ScepterWatch. How about we do it the big way? How about the first episode of ScepterWatch? Well, I want to thank everybody for joining in. It looks like I've got a few people who decided to step in and check out this very first show. And do expect some interesting and fun glitches along the way because this is the very first episode and I'm messing with some new equipment, including the sound sampler that you just got to experience and some cool keyboard funky sounds that we might do along the way like this. But this is not a techno-geeky show for at least not this episode of ScepterWatch. ScepterWatch for this specific episode is a watch party. And I wanted to make sure and do it a little differently than I have some of the other things we've done on the Scepter sound stage. And in this case, we want to do a watch party of a horror movie. And this horror movie is going to be called Don't Look in the Basement. Hopefully I'm getting a negative stream. I'm not sure if other people are or not. Hopefully you're able to catch up. Show 10 people online. That's awesome. Cool. So this episode is to watch along with a very old classic movie called Don't Look in the Basement. Now, why did I choose Don't Look in the Basement? Well, I'll tell you why. It's one of the very first movies that Joe, my guitarist, and I went to see when we were little kids at the drive-in movie with mom and dad. And, I am a big drive-in movie fan. Joe Bob Briggs and all that stuff is awesome. And that is definitely an influence of this watch party thing we're doing. I wanted to do a watch party a little different, being a live host. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in and out with live talk and everything, and maybe even take a few Skype phone calls from people if you're interested. I'll share that a little later as we get into the movie. But let's go ahead and talk about what is this movie
Don't Look in the Basement
about. Well, it's also called The Forgotten. It was also called Death Ward 13. It was released in 1973. Very low budget. I'll tell you what, I do remember it was one of the most frightening movies I'd ever seen. We were little kids. There's one specific scene. I won't give you any spoilers, but it has to do with something going into someone's eye. It's set in a mental health institute called the Stevens Sanatorium. So if you have not yet picked up on getting the movie loaded up, I do know where I'm looking to watch it is Amazon Prime. It's on there. There's some other ones. There's a Don't Look in the Basement Part 2. It's not that. It's Don't Look in the Basement. I don't even think there's one that says you have to buy it. But if you look, it's 1973, Don't Look in the Basement. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to look it up, and then I'm going to come back on, and I'm going to say hit play, and we're going to kick this thing off. So get that loaded up if you haven't already. I'm going to give you like a minute to do so. Don't Look in the Basement on Amazon Prime. You have to say. So sick of the corona task force and you just need to go away. Ordered all the
Twisted homes a lie. Do you really think?
All right. So hopefully you've had time to pull up the movie and get ready to hit play. I will be chatting along with you. When I need to jump in with the voice, I'll do so, but I will probably keep the mic silent for the most part during the walkthrough, except for a few comments here and there, so I don't mess up my audio stream with yours. Joseph Kirby Corn, hey, welcome. Everybody, do please make sure and chat along. This is a watch along party. So if you've got your movie ready to go and you got the YouTube chat here with me on it, your friendly face, Jeff Scepter, you'll be able to have a lot of fun here and play along in the Scepter Studios with our very first ScepterWatch. Oh, before I get started, not to be a Debbie Downer, but for those of you who are the praying type, a good friend of mine, Natalie, just texted me that her aunt's in the hospital with COVID pneumonia and may not survive this weekend. So please, if you are the praying type, pray for my friend Natalie. She's not joining us today, but she is here in spirit, and we need to pray for her aunt and anybody else who is having struggles with this horrible COVID thing. So that's the one negative thing. But now it's time to have some good times. So here we go. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. Get ready to press play in 3, 2, 1, play. No, Joe, it's not don't pee in the basement. It's don't look in the basement. But when you do look in the basement, there is a good chance you might actually pee. But we won't be looking in the basement for a little while now. So don't worry about that yet.
Dr. Stephen makes me eat the soup.
He likes his boats.
He likes his boats. He likes his boats. He likes his boats. He likes his boats. He likes his boats.
That means you're gonna leave me, Jane? We can't play with the boat.
I'm sorry. Oh, I miss you.
All right, time for a little known interesting fact about this this character here, Bill. He uh he actually worked as an elevator operator in Dallas, Texas, where we're from. We're not from. We're actually Scepter's from Wichita, Kansas, but where we live now in the Dallas area. He was an elevator operator at the Baker Hotel in downtown Dallas when there was an ammonia explosion and it occurred. Uh, it was a pretty bad deal. He suffered from it big time, but he did recover and obviously made it his way into theater and made his way into this awesome film. So there's a little known fact about this character. Does anyone else think that looks like Richard Simmons? I think it's Richard Simmons playing with dolls again. I know some judges out there that definitely like to use the axe. I'm going to guess there's people on here that know that too. The judge is a bad, bad man. The judge is a bad, bad man. Sorry for that. I was just notified that I'm probably not keeping up with the text comments like I should be. Learning a lot of these different commands, like. So that was my error. My error. I'll keep up better with the comments. After all, it is a watch along party. It's not just to watch Jeff on video, right? That's correct. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I've got my stream up and I can definitely see comments live. So let's chat away. Keep enjoying the show. Never, ever, never, ever mess with a woman's baby. Don't ever do it. Don't ever mess with a woman's baby. Don't you realize that can really be a problem? And don't ever look in the basement. Here's a little fun fact for you as you watch along. The nurse Charlotte Beale, that you're seeing on the screen right now, was played by Rosie Holitic. And believe it or not, she was a Playboy model. I don't know what issue of Playboy she was in, but it is a fact. You see her on some of the movie posters with a really wild look on her face and whatnot. She's an important character in this movie, as you'll see as we move forward. So keep an eye on Nurse Charlotte Beale, because she might end up going in the basement. So we're a family. We're all hearing me. Mutant family. If I can type. We're a big mutant family, and everybody helps with the chores. I love that line. It's so amazing. We're a family, and everybody helps with the chores. Okay, so here's something I'm going to throw out there right now. If you're so inclined, and I want you to be respectful, no hate calls, no long calls, but if you want to do a quick chat on Skype and be broadcast across the entire internet, please do so. You can reach the studio here. I thought I could paste it in here. I guess not. You can reach me though on Skype at Scepter Dallas. I'm going to put that in chat. Well, it's actually my name. So just go out there and get on your Skype, and feel free to give me a call. The lines are opened up right now. So if you want to give me a shout, talk about this movie while everybody's watching along, please do so. I've got the hotline is open. Again, keep it short, keep it sweet. And if you want to give me a shout, it is Septarian, official Skype of Scepter Soundstage. So feel free to give me a call, and we will accept your call, and we'll talk a little horror movies while we're watching along today. Otherwise, just enjoy the chat, enjoy the movie. Oh my God!
You don't want to wake up, Grandma! Sam, it's time. Don't you trust G.I. Joe? Always trust G.I. Joe.
So Jennifer Kirby made a really good point. It should be a public service announcement for sure. Basements are always off limits, even when they're finished basements, especially if you grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and happened to come to the Scepter basement, right, Jennifer? Never forget the Scepter basement in Wichita, Kansas. And a few of you might remember what I'm talking about. That's the Judge Rock. Don't you love the Judge Rock? And don't you love 70s eyeshadow? I'm not sure where you're all at. I'm at about 2511 right now as we speak. And I just cannot believe that 80 or that 70s eyeshadow. The judge just put on the bed. What's going to happen next? So many ex-girlfriends.
You don't want to be
Yeah,
because
we'll save those stories for another episode. You cannot go hunting because of little men. That poor old lady. I don't want to give a spoiler away, but what's going to happen to her is just so, so, so. I can't speak. I can't speak. You'll get what I mean soon enough.
Is she beyond help? Beyond help.
Don't be alarmed. It's Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, we have a Jennifer on here. Don't be alarmed.
It's Jennifer.
Don't be alarmed.
It's Jennifer.
Just a little public service announcement. If you got Apple devices, especially iPads, it seems like they are updating today. So make sure you update those, and that's a public service announcement for the cybersecurity community. Those were the days before Starbucks. Count your blessings, children. Count your blessings. And here we go. My favorite line of the whole movie.
Your tongue's been cut out. Your tongue's been cut out.
Just a quick time check. Of course, there's some delay. I'm not sure what your delay looks like on your end, but I am at 34 minutes and 5 seconds right now on Don't Look in the Basement, 1973 feature film that Joe and I from Scepter went and saw at the drive-in, and it scared the absolute heck out of us. Poor old lady just got her tongue cut out. I don't think she's going to be talking. Mrs. Collingham ripped out of her mouth during her sleep. What kind of diabolical plan is happening in this hospital, this sanitarium? Maybe that's what Metallica wrote the song Sanitarium about. Or maybe not.
Keep watching ScepterWatch.
You ain't got no phone, and you got a receptionist that don't have no tongue. What a better line in a movie can you ever have? Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Hey, make sure you're chatting along. Hey, Joseph Kirby, loving the hook'em horns. Awesome job on the chat. Jennifer Kirby, way to go. Everybody else, get on the chat. It's on YouTube chat. You can see it right there on the side if you're on your computer. I'm not sure how that works on the phone. Make sure and get on there, have some fun. Looks like we got about 5 watching right now. Having some fun. We are at the 38-minute and 10-second mark on Don't Look in the Basement. Best way I found it's Amazon Prime, free. Make sure you get version 1, not 2, and pop over to about where we're at right now and join in the fun. Oh boy. Something tells me something dirty's about to happen. If you got kids in the room, cover their eyes. Bad things happen in the basement. Bad things also happen in the closet. Grandma! All right, just to break into the crazy screaming and franticness of that poor girl, a little fun facts about this movie. So there was a remake of this movie, and it happened in 2008. It was when it was planned. It was scheduled for October with a planned release date of 2009, but that version never actually happened. However, in March of 2017, uh, Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, the punk guitarist from the Misfits, was put to star in Death Ward 13, which is an actual remake of this movie. And I don't think I've seen that yet. So I'm going to have to check that out. So go out there and look for Death Ward 13, starring Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein from the Misfits. Another thing is that a sequel was put out. And I found this about 2 years ago. Came out in 2013. Don't in the Basement Part 2. It is not bad. I didn't think. Now, I'm not going to be one of those that say it was better than the original in any sense of the word. It's not in my mind, but it's kind of hard to beat a movie that you saw in 1973 in the back of your mom and dad's car with your brother, who's now your lead guitarist for the rock band Scepter, who I loved very dearly to this day. So that's kind of hard to beat. But honestly, the sequel's not bad, and I believe the sequel is also free to watch on Amazon Prime. I am not advertising Amazon Prime. I'm just telling you, I think it's there. So you might check that out after today's watch along for Don't Look into Basement Part 2. But again, it could never top this original. Okay, back to the show. So, what exactly is up with Sam and his massive addiction to popsicles? The dude loves boats. The dude loves popsicles. I guess that maybe that's the secret. That's the meaning of life in the sanitarium here. Toy boats and popsicles. But Judge, what is under that bed? Something's up with Judge. And I don't know what. Nope. That's not Richard Simmons. And here she goes again. Go for it! Go for it! All right, here's a little fun fact on the cast. So I noticed here we got Joseph Kirby, got Jennifer Kirby, and of course my real name's Jeff Kirby, even though on Scepter I go by Jeff Scepter. Well, Danny, the character in this movie, is played by Jesse Kirby. How weird is that? Another fun fact that you're only going to learn here on ScepterWatch. Let me change that. You're only going to hear that here.
On ScepterWatch.
So here's one that you may or may not have realized when it comes down to what this was released back on 2000, January 25th of 2000. This movie was released under the name The Forgotten on DVD. It was later released on BCI in 2002 in a 2-disc set called Evil Places Movie Pack, and then a re-release in 2004 and 2005 on other movie packs. I did not know that. I knew this movie only by the name Don't Look in the Basement, but I just now discovered that it was actually called The Forgotten. So that's kind of interesting. Something to look for if you're a big fan of this movie as a cult classic. You probably already knew that, but even though I'm a big fan of this movie as a cult classic, I did not know that was what was called. It was also released alongside a movie called Don't Open the Door. That was released in 1975. So maybe Don't Look in the Basement and Don't Open the Door might be a cool double feature to do some night with your friends on another watch along. Back to the movie.
It was never ever fun when Mom would say, "Hold out your hand," with a cigarette lighter. Mom, I learned my lesson well.
There's nothing like having your mom being in a business in a massage parlor. Yeah, once again, definitely not Richard Simmons like we thought at the first. Definitely a cool cat dresser for the 1970s. Definitely excellent hair for the 1970s. Not much of a talker to the ladies, but you know what? You can't have everything, can you? Must be where the band Trippin' Daisies got their name from. So the difference between Scepter Soundstage's ScepterWatch and, say, The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs is you do actually see the host take a drink of a Lone Star beer. Nothing against Joe Bob Briggs. I love him to death. In fact, some of these cameras you can see his action figure. In fact, I'm wearing his shirt right now, right? Love the guy. Love his show. But you never really see him drink the beer, do you? So cheers. If you're out there having a nice weekend afternoon, grab your Lone Star, whatever it is, and take a drink. And cheers to watching Don't Look in the Basement on ScepterWatch. So hey, I see it fluctuating. It looks like we got 9, 11 different amount of people joining in from time to time. Not bad for my very first time. I'm pretty pleased. If you are joining in late, the movie is Don't Look in the Basement. It is on Amazon, and we are at about 1 hour and 4 minutes right now. So you can sync up with us and watch the rest of this flick. 1 minute and 1 hour, 4 minutes and 15 seconds right now. Peace. Something's gonna happen. So the question right now is this a sanitarium or is it a rehab? Because to me, it's looking like it might be a rehab right now. I don't know. Maybe more to come on this, but what do you think? Put in the chat. Is it a sanitarium for this lady or is it a rehab for this lady? Also, what do you think is in the basement? Just a couple of words in the chat. What do you think? I'm curious to see those who've never seen this before, if it's been a long time. What's in the basement? Let me know. All right, real quick for this tiny little micro episode. Every once in a while, you'll see it on camera behind me here. What's on the Betamax? This episode brought to you by ScepterWatch. Today, right here, this is what's on the Betamax. I keep missing the camera. Maybe over there. I can't get it in time. Anyway, it's the original Night of the Living Dead by Media Entertainment on Betavision or Betamax. That is what is playing on the Beta behind me. All right, I'm getting a few pops that there are a few people still joining in who haven't watched with us yet tonight or today. So the movie is Don't Look in the Basement. It is free out there on Amazon. If you're running that late, we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes and 10 seconds. So feel free to get in there, jump in, and join along with a Scepter Watch Party today. Only on
ScepterWatch.
Okay, I got to break in here. Mrs. Cunningham, who did this to you? Your tongue. Well, someone cut out her tongue. So how can she possibly say who did this to her? That's the most corniest line in this whole movie. But I love it. It's one of my favorite movies ever. All right, I'll let you get back to the movie. We'll talk a little bit about it at the end. In the meantime, if you do want to jump in to chat for a tiny little bit, feel free to Skype me. I put it over in the chat. It's Septerian. I'll do it one more time. But the Skype line is open. I can't promise you'll be on the air, but you might be. All right, quick shameless plug. If you have not already subscribed and you're watching this, please hit the subscribe button on Scepter Soundstage. Not only will we be doing Scepter Watch, but eventually Scepter will be doing live shows back on this format as soon as we get a little bit more of that COVID-19 vaccine in our bodies and feel comfortable to get back together. So there's that. There may be some cooking shows courtesy of Lita doing some really cool cooking stuff. And who knows what else? Maybe some talk shows. You just don't know what we're going to see on Scepter Soundstage. So subscribe now. We're definitely going to do some more Scepter Watch episodes, but you just never know what you're going to get on this channel. So subscribe today. And anyone else you know who might enjoy this, please also tell them to subscribe as well. Tell them to click in here right now, subscribe, and let's blow this thing up so I can at least get a Scepter Soundstage URL through YouTube. That right there is the most terrifying scene a little kid could ever see in 1973 in the back of their parents' car at the drive-in movie theater. It can't get more horrifying than that. And I think it still holds merit as one of the most scariest things you could possibly see in the basement. By the way, I'm getting text messages from a couple people who are doing screen caps, who are doing some ScepterWatch. So thanks for you that are watching and checking it out. Very cool. I hope you're enjoying it. Keep watching. We are at 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 51 seconds into Don't Look in the Basement, which I'm watching on Amazon Prime. Lone Stars cheer! Lone Stars cheer! Lone Stars cheer!
Find her. It's too late.
And here we go.
After all this time, she's finally in the basement, and we get to find out what's going on in this movie and why don't we look in the basement? Okay, so isn't it funny how she kind of acts a little bit like Jason Voorhees' mom at the end of the original Friday the 13th? Do you think maybe they could have gotten a little of that character from this one? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's funny how it's the same kind of psycho reaction. Well, now we know what's in the basement. So how's this movie going to finish? Right? We got about 6 minutes left. And then we're going to close this thing out. Let's keep watching. We're at 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 29 seconds of Don't Look in the Basement. And now for the extremely gory conclusion to Don't Look in the Basement. I warn you, for a 1973 movie, this is one heck of a scene that you'll never forget. Only on
ScepterWatch.
Well, hey, that was it for the stunning get out, don't ever come back conclusion to Don't Look in the Basement, also called The Forgotten, also called Death Ward 13. But Joe Kirby and I from Scepter know it as Don't Look in the Basement because that's what it was called when we saw it at the drive-in, and it must have been 1973 in the back of Mom and Dad's old Ford car or station wagon, or maybe it was a Volkswagen Beetle. I don't remember, to be honest with you, because we were little. But that was one of the most scary movies that I recall ever seeing with my brother, who is also watching us online today, lead guitarist for Scepter. And I want to thank everybody for joining for this very first Scepter watch party. I decided to do it again in the afternoon to not interfere with all the more advanced watch parties that are going on around the horror mutant family community. But you know what? You never know. Might do one of these later tonight. You never know. Just getting my feet wet on this whole streaming thing. Man, I was just thinking it would be so cool if Joe Bob Briggs would actually show him hanging out and watching the movie versus just little segments. Wouldn't that be cool? Or even if he drank a little Lone Star beer here and there like that. I hope you're all having an amazing Saturday afternoon. I hope you had a good time. Number one, do a couple things for me if you would. Get your friends out there to join Scepter Soundstage. Do a subscribe on the YouTube channel. If I can get, I think it's 50 subscribers. I don't know how many it is, but if I can get some, then I can have Scepter Soundstage as as part of the URL. I would like to have that. That'd be really awesome. So we just need to get some subscribers in there. And hopefully some of you joined and some of you had fun. I know we bounced around from 23 people to 8 to 5 to 4, all over the map. So obviously a lot of people joined in, and it looks like it was fun. I hope you enjoyed the movie. Once again, I do have a live Skype line going. It's Septerian, SCEPTERIAN. So I do plan on taking some live calls during the show from time to time. And also on Scepter Soundstage, as soon as COVID lets up a little more, we'll be doing some really cool live broadcasting of our Scepter band shows. We'll this up. You can find us on Scepter Dallas, and you can see some of our videos out there that we do on the music side. But for me, horror movies and music are kind of my thing, and so I thought this would be a great opportunity to do a Scepter watch party. And I definitely want to do some more. If you've got some ideas, please let me know. If you got an idea for what the next movie should be, whether it be later tonight or whether it be next week, let me know. If you like this time slot, let me know. Just anything, man. I'm always open for criticism, critiques, because you can't get better until you know what people want, right? So I'm glad. And Joe Kirby just said definitely a feel-good afternoon movie. Yes, it is. There's nothing like a good feel-good horror movie in the afternoons. So I'll tell you what. I really appreciate everybody out here and having a good time. And thanks again for doing the Scepter Watch party. And don't forget, it's not Scepter Watch. It's
ScepterWatch.
Thanks a lot for tuning in.
It get hard again, I don't want to know what you have to say. So sick of the corona attack.